Hi, and welcome back to the Therapy Connection. In this enlightening video, we're going to delve deep into the concept of catastrophizing, which involves anticipating the worst possible outcomes in various aspects of our lives. Catastrophizing, as you'll soon discover, has the potential to exacerbate anxiety and depression, finally wreaking havoc on your overall well-being. Throughout this video, I'll guide you through not just one or two, but three practical strategies that will empower you to replace this harmful habit with healthier, more constructive alternatives. So, buckle up and get ready for a transformation. The Jack story, a vivid illustration. Now, let's kick things off with a gripping story that serves as a vivid illustration of catastrophizing's impact. Imagine a scenario. A man is driving late at night along a desolate country road. Suddenly, a loud bang and a flat tire shatter the tranquility of the night. He takes action, opening his trunk to retrieve a spare tire and lug wrench, only to realize that his jack is mysteriously absent. To add to the dilemma, there's no phone signal, leaving him in a precarious situation. However, a glimmer of hope appears as he spots a distant porch light in the darkness. With resolve, he decides to seek assistance from a nearby farmer. As he embarks on the dark and uncertain journey, his mind starts to play tricks on him. What if the farmer is already asleep and awakens grumpy? What if a barking dog accompanies the farmer? What if he faces a robbery? Fear begins to creep in, threatening to consume him. But despite the anxiety, he soldiers on, knowing that he must find a solution. Finally, he reaches the farmhouse, mustering the courage to knock on the door. Yet his mind continues to race with dire scenarios. He envisions a hostile, red-faced farmer wrenching the door open in anger. As the door swings open, the farmer calmly asks, "Can I help you?" In a fit of panic, the stranded man blurts out, "I don't want your jack anymore." With that, he slams the door shut and walks away, trapped in his own web of catastrophic thinking. Unpacking catastrophizing. What is it? Now that we've seen the real-world consequences of catastrophizing, let's take a closer look at what it actually is. Catastrophizing is a common cognitive distortion, a thinking error that many of us fall prey to. It's when we take a current or future situation, no matter how challenging, and magnify it to catastrophic proportions. For instance, you might start by worrying about failing a test, but then your imagination runs wild, conjuring up a nightmarish sequence of events: failing school, ending up in a dead-end job, homelessness, and finally, despair. Catastrophizing is all about envisioning the worst-case scenario, taking a challenging situation and interpreting it as utterly catastrophic. We've all encountered individuals who, upon receiving a B on a test, exclaim, "I'm failing math class." Or perhaps parents who, when faced with a child's reluctance to do chores, predict extreme outcomes like, "If you don't do your chores, no one will ever want to marry you." Catastrophizing often starts with real setbacks, but ends with the belief that something disastrous is not just possible, but inevitable. The damaging effects of catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is not merely an innocuous thinking pattern. It has profound effects on our mental and emotional well-being. It functions as a self-sustaining cycle, closing doors to opportunities, paralyzing us with fear, and ironically, inviting the very problems we fear most. It thrives on negative thinking patterns and finally leads to anxiety, depression, and a profound lack of motivation. In essence, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, shaping our reality in line with our catastrophic expectations. Understanding the persistence. Why do we catastrophize? Now, you might be wondering why we continue to fall into the trap of catastrophizing, despite its evident harm. Catastrophizing serves two seemingly dysfunctional functions that offer a semblance of comfort. First, it allows us to cope with the fear of uncertainty and risk by anticipating the worst. By setting our expectations at rock bottom, we believe we won't be disappointed if our predictions come true. For instance, if we expect ourselves to fail, we won't be devastated if we do. If we reject ourselves first, we avoid the sting of potential rejection from others. Second, catastrophizing convinces us that fear is a potent motivator. We mistakenly believe that by predicting doom and gloom, we can scare ourselves into action. While this fear-driven motivation may work in the short term, it finally leads to anxiety, depression, overwhelm, and a sense of helplessness. It's a motivation strategy with diminishing returns. How to liberate yourself from catastrophizing. Now that you have a solid understanding of catastrophizing and its impact, let's explore 3 practical steps you can take to liberate yourself from this self-destructive thinking pattern. 1. Notice when you're catastrophizing. The first step is to develop self-awareness. Begin by recognizing when you engage in catastrophizing. Pay attention to the specific words or phrases you use and the situations that trigger this behavior. You might also seek input from a trusted friend or family member who can help identify these patterns in your thinking. 2. Challenge your thoughts. Remember that just because you think something doesn't make it true. Learn to notice your catastrophic thoughts and gently question them. It's essential to understand that you don't have to believe everything you think. Avoid self-criticism or dwelling on thoughts like, "What's wrong with me for thinking this way?" Instead, acknowledge your thoughts and let them pass. 3. Replace with rational thoughts. Once you've started to recognize your catastrophic thinking, it's time to replace those thoughts with something more honest and constructive. Consider alternative outcomes and focus on positive goals. For example, rather than fearing rejection, strive to learn from your experiences and improve your communication. Instead of fixating on potential mistakes, acknowledge that everyone makes them and focus on growth and improvement. A path to positive change. In conclusion, catastrophizing is a damaging habit that can be overcome with determination and the right strategies. By embracing uncertainty, vulnerability, and a focus on positive goals, you can break free from this self-fulfilling prophecy. Remember, you are not broken. You have the capacity to change and lead a more fulfilling life. If you found this video valuable, consider sharing it with others who might benefit from these insights. Together, we can help individuals break free from the shackles of catastrophic thinking and embark on a path to positive change. Thank you for watching, and take care.